Okay, so within Scaffold ETH, we had these hooks and these components. So Scaffold ETH is like the tool we're using to make all these prototypes. Within Scaffold ETH, we had these hooks and components, and we realized like not everybody's going to want to use Scaffold ETH. Let's take the hooks and let's put them into a really clean NPM package with TypeScript and all the things that are kind of table stakes for some of the more picky nerds in the space. And so Shravan is here to just talk about how ETH hooks works and just get you guys exposure to the tooling that's kind of like underneath the abstraction of Scaffold ETH. But I'll have Shravan take over. He can just talk about, briefly what the hooks library is, like what ETH hooks is.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, so Scaffold ETH, actually, there's two versions of it now. We have Scaffold ETH and Scaffold ETH TypeScript, so people who do want to use the TypeScript version can use that. And the vanilla Scaffold ETH, I think the version you guys are using uses ETH hooks v2, which was created a while ago, I think in summer at some point. And now we're up to v4. V2 is just a collection of hooks, and it's got common hooks that we can use balance, use block number, gas price, getting the DEX price, using a contract. So it's pretty robust, and I'm sure everyone's used it if they're using Scaffold ETH as a baseline. So today I wanted to talk about Scaffold. Actually, before I go into that, there's also ETH components, which encapsulates all the Ant UI, and that's also a package, and that's also available for you if you guys want to quickly prototype. It's everything that Scaffold ETH uses. And today I want to talk about Scaffold ETH v4. It just got released like a month and a half ago, and the TypeScript version of Scaffold ETH already uses it. So let me go into my...
You said Scaffold ETH v4, but you mean ETH hooks v4.
Sorry, ETH hooks v4. So one of the big things that we're trying to solve with ETH hooks v4 is we realize there's a lot of different types of networks. So if you're developing for Polygon, you'd get updates every second. You don't want it to update every block. So we're providing flexibility in updates. So you can tell it to pull, you can tell it to update on, I don't know, every 10 blocks, 100 blocks, or every block, whatever your use case is. The other part is there's context now. Everything in Scaffold ETH v4 is part of, there's an Ethers app context, so you don't have to pass around any props when you want to use a provider and when you want to use it in some other screen of your app. You just have a React context, and you can get the signer, the providers, everything you guys need to program. There's also a contract app context, and this has typed contracts, so you don't make any mistakes. So you know what a contract can do or cannot do, and you don't pass in any of the wrong information. So a lot of this effort is to catch issues in compile time rather than prod. And as we start developing more and more products that more and more people start use, I think that's pretty important. The other part that I'm pretty excited about is we're using React Query as a caching layer. I know a lot of projects that we deploy have really high RPC costs in general due to large usage, and everything is locally cached automatically by the library. So you're not going to make the same call to the network, Ethereum network or whatever network, unless the cache gets invalidated or it needs updating. And then the last part is tied to the context, is typed contracts, and everything is typed so that, like I mentioned before, we want to catch errors and prevent mistakes for any new contracts that we create. That's about it. That's just a quick overview. I have a video about the whole presentation that is about 30 minutes long, and I can link to that. I just wanted to encourage people to start trying it out in their own projects, or check out Scaffold ETH TypeScript, which has this version. And we're also working with Jason to update the vanilla Scaffold ETH, and it will take some more time to do it, but eventually we'll get there with that as well.
If you could show the code where you set up your context and then you scroll down and you get your balance, and then you scroll down and you get the block number or something like that. I think it's right here in the docs. If you just scroll down a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Right there. Yeah. Just showing like ETH context. You basically get your Ethers context. Oh yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's just a simple context. You don't have to really know how it works, but once you wrap your app around it, you just have to call this hook to get the Ethers contact. And anywhere in your app, You can get the balance. You can use any of the hooks you want. You don't have to pass down props. You also have status, like say you're trying to get a balance, and this is a very simple example. It'll tell you while it's loading. It'll tell you when it's done loading, so you can actually have a better UI experience for the end user. If you're doing something complex with a contract, that's also available. And you can tell it to update manually, or you can tell it to update every 30 seconds. You can tell it to update every 100 seconds, or you can tell it to update every 200 blocks. A lot of flexibility there. So it's just to make our lives easier as developers, so everyone can rapidly make prototypes and products. And as far there's even better
30-second warning.
Okay, sure. That's about it. Check out the docs and check out the longer video. And I hope you guys use it and find it very, it helps you make more things.